Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss what distillery we would like to spend some time more behind the scenes. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guest, Luke Otero, not Kathy Cool because she's drunk, and Lenny and Darren MacLeod.
Hey, Keg, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah. Kathy
Tossed her under the bus.
Kathy, I think deserves it because she dialed in that she's probably not going to be on the shows to Darren, not to me. She didn't contact me. She lets Darren. Hey, I'm probably not going to be on. Because
that's
she's
really
been
a cop out.
day
Like
drinking.
you can't like
Right.
tell your like don't. I'm not going to tell my boss. I'm going to tell my coworker. I'm
Right,
not going to make
yeah.
it and make my coworker tell my boss I'm not coming in.
I'm not coming in.
That's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very professional.
Isn't there some sort of in-house penalty for
I'm
that?
telling you, there should be something, right? We got to come up with something. Yeah.
In whitewater kayaking, there's a tradition of like, if you swim, it's kind of like regardless of if other people have to gather your stuff up or not. But if you swim out of your boat and have to like gather your crap and get back to the shore, you have to do a booty shot at the end. And it means you take off your neoprene boot that you kayak with and pour a beer in there and chug the beer out of your shoe. And I feel like there needs to be an ABV network equivalent, like something kind of foul.
Right.
That someone has to have a shot out
Yeah.
of. I don't know what that thing is.
Yeah, if you
but-
miss your shows.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
In Key West.
What if we were on one of those trips and Darren did exactly that? And we're like, you got to do a booty shot. And then all of a sudden it got really, really weird, if you know what I'm saying.
Well,
You're like, no, it was involving your shoe. And it was too late, though.
too late. I don't know.
Well then.
Weird things happen.
Yeah. Beka, you said there's something you want to talk about. What was that?
I wanted to see if we have any green thumbs in our midst. I am not one. That plant back there maybe has I'm gonna say maybe 2 more months of a life, possibly.
Uh-huh.
I'm not growing weed. Or just anything.
Yeah. Just anything.
If you have any sort of a green thumb for growing anything at all, I guess. I just want to know if we've got any green thumbs here because I am a black thumb.
Okay. I used to grow peppers, like a bunch of different varieties. It was fun. I used to order actually the plants from New Jersey at the start of the year and then grow them. And peppers are easy though. So you don't have to be a green thumb to be able to grow peppers. As a matter of fact, the worse you are to them, the hotter they get. Like the angrier those peppers are, the better they're going to taste. So the fact that you don't water them regularly or do a bunch of things ends up yielding better plants. I've always found. So I was good at growing peppers back when I did. I just lost time to do it and then never got back to it. Maybe I will at some point because I used to use them in dishes and then dry them and then make spices and stuff. But yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't done it in a while. So.
Steve, the pepper master.
Oh yes. Well,
the Pepper King of St. Louis.
All right. Darren seems like he should be. I mean,
I have a pretty good green thumb.
okay.
There's several plants like that it started in college. Like it was a science project.
Okay.
For botany. Yeah. And so you had to grow this plant and keep it alive. Mine's still alive, and I have split it off into like 14 different pots now and give them off to people because I've been able to keep everything alive, and my yard has a bunch of live things. My problem though is I really like trees, obviously. And so I keep wanting to plant trees, and it takes all the sun away from my flowers and peppers and everything. So that's where I'm currently at.
Okay. Do you ever want to plant anything weird here that doesn't belong here? Because when I was a kid, I went on vacation and I got a redwood tree and I planted it, but it didn't take. It didn't do well. It would have been nice if it would have been the Missouri's first redwood. I kind of got that thing going. Oh man, that would have been sweet.
You were somehow the first one to.
That would have been my legacy. You know how they have names out in California? That would have been the Colonel Steve, of course. I mean, you got like General Sherman out there, all these great trees and stuff. General Grant. That would have been the Colonel Steve tree.
And then it would have become invasive and destroyed all of Missouri.
But they're redwoods, and that'd be better. I'll tell you what. I would take redwoods destroying shit over those stupid Bartlett pear trees that just split. And they grow up big, and then they look nice, and then they just start breaking and splitting. They're terrible. They're everywhere.
And they smell like ass.
Yeah, I hate those things. I hate those things. Yeah, they're terrible. Terrible. Yeah. Well. What about you, Luke? You got to grow on anything?
No, I am the worst. I'm like Beka. The board department takes care of all that.
Right.
She has a certain budget that she adheres to, and I have no say so about it, which is fine with me. And no, I'm zero.
All right. Based on Lenny's height, I'm going to guess he's bad at growing stuff.
That's a great call.
That was a good joke. Yet it just went over with crickets. I'm going to have to download.
I didn't know.
That was a good fucking joke. That was
short people can't grow stuff. I guess so. There's a joke.
He didn't grow.
They can't grow themselves.
He didn't grow. Maybe he doesn't have a good ability to grow things. When you got to explain it like this, it's not so good.
Wow.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
See, Steve, I was originally thinking about like the garden gnomes, and I was like, oh, so he's going to be good at it. And then you went the other way, and I was like, oh, no, never mind.
Closer to those things growing. So I don't know. I don't really. I've never taken the time to try. I had to grow some grass on my lawn this spring, and it worked. So I mean, maybe I have a green thumb. I don't know.
Oh. I'll tell you one thing.
Lenny grew some grass. Yeah. Hell yeah.
One thing I tried to grow.
Proud of myself.
No luck. I've got like a split rail fence along the side of my house, and then it kind of comes on the kind of creates a little side yard on the one side because there's some in the front too, some split rail. I tried to grow hops on there because I thought that would be cool. Like go to a beer garden and stuff like that, and they got hops taking over the whole thing. I thought that would be awesome, but I never could get that going. Squirrels would eat them, so I would have these things going, and I'd see squirrels out there munching on those hops plants, and I
have hops at my house.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you plant them?
No, that's not the point.
I thought I'd ask.
I have in the past.
I shoot squirrels.
Shoot squirrels. Shoot squirrels is a good idea. They're just rats. I can't stand squirrels. But
with fluffier tails.
Yeah. It's one of those things. They get away with so much because some people consider them cute.
They are cute.
Chipmunks, cute. They're terrible. They burrow under your house, everything else. You don't want chipmunks around. Yeah, because they're cute. They get away with everything. Yeah, well, that's a problem. I like the possum. He's not cute at all. And everybody hates the possum, but they're like the best thing going on.
That makes me so upset because everyone's like, kill the possums. They're fucking ugly. And I'm like, they're literally not doing anything bad ever.
They kind of hide all the time.
They don't do anything. They eat ticks. They do all the good things. They'll eat like a snake if they just stumble onto a snake in the yard, and they're not even gonna die from the snake bite because they're immune to it, so they're fine.
They're not popping open your trash cans.
They can't get into.
Them damn raccoons will figure out a way to get in your trash. They'll take the lid off. Yeah.
And guess what? Possums aren't gonna fucking attack you in your yard either, like raccoons will.
No,
raccoons will literally like attack you. Possums are just like
porcupines.
We don't have
Kentucky
here. No.
Up in North Dakota, we do.
Okay. We have some in Missouri, Steve. They're just not very common. I think
North Dakota, we have a lot of them.
I saw a roadkill one
in
yesterday.
St. Louis, are they
No,
prevalent?
I've never seen one
I've
near
never
St.
seen-
Louis.
No,
You
I
don't want to hit them with your car because it is literally like hitting a bag of bricks.
Oh, really?
They are just it is a
Sharp
huge, like it'll just destroy the front end of your car because we've got huge ones up in North Dakota.
I just saw a video of a guy's dog who got hit in the face because he was trying to bite a porcupine. Quills all in his face, all the way through his lips and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
That's
terrible.
how it goes.
Terrible.
It's got
That's the dog version of fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that porcupines are bad though. Otherwise, they didn't really.
No.
They like scratch
No.
stuff. I think, but that's like the extent of like what
The
porcupines.
bad ones, those armadillos, because they got the leprosy. So, yeah.
They don't all have leprosy.
Well,
They could,
right,
There's only one type of armadillo that can potentially carry leprosy, and it's not all. It's not.
So,
all
do you want to
armadillos.
fuck around and find out? If you see one there,
Do
you
I
wanna
want to pick
check that
up?
thing out?
I mean, I guess I don't see anyone really
Here-
walking
here-
around with leprosy these days. But
No armadillo booty shots.
Here, you have to assume that they have leprosy. You have to assume because you can't visually see it. Now, raccoons are known for having rabies. Do all raccoons have rabies? No, but that doesn't mean you're like, not all of them have rabies. I'm going to go pet that one. Especially the ones that you can see. I've seen a rabid raccoon.
Pets a
before.
raccoon.
People think they're cute. They think they're just awesome. And some
they
people
are
have them as
cute.
pets.
It's just
Some people
they
have
are.
them as
They're
pets,
fucking.
too.
Those are the worst. I think that raccoons are possibly the worst of the.
All right.
Just
Same.
because they do
I
so
agree.
much shit.
They got the
they're
hands
too
that can.
smart.
They're smart.
And they're
they got the
fucking
hands
smart.
that
That's
can-
the sad
yeah.
thing is they're smart, and so if you have to shoot them, you're like, you know what I'm doing.
Take it.
Like they know the woodchuck who we shot in the front yard. He didn't know what the hell's going on. He's a damn
He's like,
woodchuck.
hey,
He's just like, what's up? I'm gonna burrow underneath the house. Not today.
Right. All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Luke. Luke, what do you got?
Yeah, fresh back from a trip from California. Steve, I think you might be familiar with the Charbet distillery in Northern California. And Lenny, you may have them too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they came knocking, and we're looking.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, very good. Very good. That could be enough.
Good.
Could be enough. I'll go next. I've got Ragged Branch. Ragged Branch. Or in our system, it is Raged Branch. Only one G. So, anybody who's looking at those receipts, I got the Raged Branch. It's very angry. Ragged Branch is what it is. All right, cork pop. Oh God, this is gonna be terrible.
Sounds angry.
Yeah, so much squeaking, and then I could tell there was going to be no pop, nothing going on there. Luke clearly has the lead. Lenny, you're next.
I've got the Whistle Pig Pit Viper collaboration. Their summer stock.
Nice.
Really shiny cap.
Okay.
I don't have a glass, so I'll be drinking out of the bottle also.
Okay, perfect. That was good. Not as good as Luke's. So it looks like Darren's ready to go. We'll have him go next.
I got some 291 from the ABV Barrel Shop.
Okay. Well, that's close. We're going to let Beka decide who has the lead, Luke or Darren.
I think Luke does.
I think so too, but I was close enough to ask.
I'm going
We always go to the person who still has skin in the game. So it's
Yep.
Beka. Beka, it's between you and Luke now. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with some Maker's Mark, the wood finishing series. This is SE4 times PR5. Whatever that'll
Great.
be.
Oh,
I think that was it.
I think she got it because
I didn't mean to. I thought
Luke's
it wasn't
was
gonna be
nice,
good.
but that even had bass in it. That was pretty darn good. Almost an echo even. So.
I wasn't trying. I thought that was
Yeah.
gonna be the worst bottle of the night.
Yeah. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Congrats, Becca.
I wasn't even trying. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what distilleries we'd like to see more behind-the-scenes stuff. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. We're also sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop focuses exclusively on barrel picks. It's the job of owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot to seek out distilleries that are making the best whiskey in the world, taste through their barrels, and select the ones that are off-profile in the best way possible. They have high standards and refuse to allow anything into their store other than something they would be proud to have their name on. This leads to some really awkward conversations with distilleries that can't make it, but they do it for you, their customers. Learn more about what is going on at their St. Louis-based store by heading over to abvbarrelshop.com. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at neelyfamilydistillery.com.
This is Kathy Cool, and I can't wait to pet your goat. And you're listening to the ABV Network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about which distillery we'd like to see more behind the scenes.
Yes, we are. I mean, when I think of behind the scenes stuff, I think of Buffalo Trace. They do a great job of having a lot of different types of tours, and some of those take you behind the scenes. I was inspired to do the show, though, because of Maker's Mark. They've got like 4 new tours that take you behind the scenes, and I thought that was pretty cool because they always just had like the standard tour. Now they've got a bunch of other ones too, and you can see a little bit of what goes on, stuff that you don't normally get to see, which is pretty cool. Even stuff that involves the estate and things like that. Those are things Darren should go on. They go seeing the trees and their tree programs they've got and all that kind of stuff. You should be doing those for sure. So fun stuff as a forestry major. So yes, so that's cool. But what other distilleries I wanted to throw out there? Do we want to see more of that kind of stuff, more behind the scenes stuff? What do you guys think?
The first one that came to my mind, and that's just because I've heard you talk so much about how cool the tour used to be, but they don't really do tours anymore, is 1792.
Mm-hmm.
And because that would technically be behind the scenes because they're not open to the public. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
What was cool about them?
The roadside too.
Oh yeah. That's an awesome place. And the cool thing about them is they always did have a regular tour, and their tours are all free. It doesn't matter if you got the regular one or the behind the scenes. They did have a behind the scenes tour too that showed you even more of the stuff. So yeah, that would be a good one for sure. For sure. What else?
Well, go ahead, Lenny.
Well, I've got a few in various buckets, I guess.
Okay.
And I'll just start off with the weird one that has a few different distilleries. So I would want, if I could, a behind the scenes, because I'm so curious about what's going on. If I could ever know, I could sleep better at night. And some of those I would add onto that list, and I'll talk about why a bit more. Breckenridge Distillery, Old Oak Distillery.
I think I know why.
Breckenridge. What? Whistle Pig and Willet. And I love all of their offerings. I'm curious what goes in, because I know they're all making stuff.
Right.
Like, for example, this summer stock, it's really tasty. And
right.
I'm picking up on some familiar notes from whiskey making and how I've made whiskey. I want to know what's going on there. And we don't always get to know, because it might not always be the story that their marketing departments might want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just curious. I like to know the full details. So those are a few of the distilleries that,
Okay.
if I could look at their software and see what happened.
See, yeah. I've got two standouts. So number one, Jim Beam. Jim Beam has a great consumer tour, but it's very much what you would expect. It's one that's going to be a cookie cutter version of everyone else's tour. It's on a much grander scale. So here's our still, and it's fun to see because it's fun to see, a still pumping out the volume that they do and all that kind of stuff. Whatever it is that the Beam's got, it's bigger and better. So that's one I'd love to see. A little bit more dedication to some different types of tours and behind the scenes. So that's from the big distillery perspective. From the small distillery, go ahead.
Well, question for you about Jim Beam. They're smaller, like craft distillery. That's a different structure? That's the James B. Beam distillery. Is that right? Have you been to that one?
No, I have not.
I'm very curious about that. Not to hijack your.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Because if is that where they're turning out their American single malt from?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm curious. Sorry to jump on that.
I think the single malt is age stated longer than they've been distilling there.
Oh,
if I remember right, because I think that single malt's like 6 years old, right? Something like that, maybe.
I don't remember. I don't.
Either way, interested in Jim Beam.
Probably not there, but yeah, yes, James B. Beam. So that's the Fred No distillery. Of that one. It's James B. Beam is actually the name of Jim Beam now. Supposedly,
you're right. Thank you.
I'm refusing to call it that. So yes, the other one I would like to see, and again, I don't think it's going to happen, but Neely Family Distillery. So behind the scenes, because you got the standard tour, and they're talking about doing an episode tour. But I would like to see once a month, and I'm picking on Neely because we got a Neely here, but I'd like to see it at Stumpf too. I'd like to see it at all the distilleries that are craft friends that have kind of gotten big enough where the distiller's busy and they've now got to big enough where they have staff to do that once a month. That's all I'm saying. First Saturday of the month is the distillers tour where they lead you on the tour, show you some different things that you don't normally see and stuff like that. You could charge 3 times the price. Vet out, because you're only going to be doing it once a month. Charge 3 times your normal ticket price. So it's worth their time, but it's an opportunity to interface and interact with Adam Stumpf or with Royce Neely, or with Jason Fruits, whomever it is, rather than go on the tour. And it's very well constructed. Obviously, because it's a small distillery, that owner put that together. Or Lenny Eckstein, that's another one too. I went on the first Saturday of the month. Lenny's there. If not, we're notified they don't sell tickets that day because he has a conference or something he's going to be at. So it'll be the next Saturday as a makeup or something. That's me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know it's not going to happen, but I like that idea. I think you can't ever disassociate yourself from your customers. You have to give them access to you in some way if you want to maintain a brand. I think you do. And that's why I do stuff. I do game nights and stuff like that. I participate in those for the ABV Network crew. You have to give them access to you, I feel. And as you get bigger, I don't want people to forget to do that, because I think that's important. I think people want to be able to see the people behind the brand. So,
I agree.
The brand new ones, it's going to be everybody. I mean, you go back, Royce, I'm sure, has done 1 million tours. You just have to when you're getting going. Yeah. But then you get to a point, you kind of get past that. And I get that. It should be. Royce Neely shouldn't be doing every tour. But, a commitment of once a month, I'd like to see it from our friends and others too.
Definitely would not be on a Saturday. I can tell you that much.
Well, whatever it is, whatever. You pick out the date, the first Tuesday of the month. I don't know. Saturdays people are available. I'm talking about the public, not necessarily the distillers. So yeah, that's my idea. What are you guys? What other places would you like to see behind the scenes at?
My ideal behind the scenes is a little bit off yours, Steve, and it's a Buffalo Trace, because I'm a big Elmer T. Lee fan.
Mm-hmm.
Man himself, and I'd like to go. And if Buffalo Trace would just do it once a year,
right?
They don't even have to announce it. Everyone, you just show up. Oh, by the way, it's an Elmer T. Lee tour, and you get to see to the drop to the tasting wheel how they come to that Elmer T. Lee profile that Elmer T. wanted himself.
Right.
And I don't care if it's with Harlan or whomever. it's Elmer T was pretty special to them, and to the whole
They've
industry.
got several that they could do, Luke, obviously, too. The Colonel Taylor Tour, which they kind of got one of those now, but Colonel Blanton could be a tour there. I mean, they've got a lot of historic people at Buffalo, associated with Buffalo Trace, for sure.
Yeah, but for me, this would be my tour.
It's actually led by Luke Otero, which would be good.
Nice.
But that's what I'd like to see. And like I said, they don't have to do it every month or every week, and maybe once a year. And just whoever's lucky enough just happens to be there. So
yeah,
you could split it on Blanton's tour, E.H. Taylor, whatever.
The cool thing about Elmer T. Lee is you're not talking he's been gone 100 years where it's hard to get. You can get firsthand accounts of what did Elmer like here, what was special to this place to Elmer. You could incorporate so much of the man himself because there's people that still work at Buffalo Trace that worked with Elmer T. Lee. So,
At risk of being excessively cheesy, but also it could be awesome. Like when you go to some of the historic sites around like Philadelphia or Boston, they'll reenact a lot of the stuff in the garb and like represent. It might be kind of awesome to have somebody dressed up like as Elmer T. Lee. I kind of want to see it.
Let's see what your tour guide to look like
the entire time.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be a gig I get. I can stroll. Elmer T. Lee was like 5'7". I'll be rolling in.
I'm a lock.
Yeah. I'll be rolling in there, all obese and stuff, and be like, "I'm Elmer T. Lee." I'll have the hat on though. He always had that certain style of hat. Yeah, I'll have that on. That'll be how I look like Elmer T. Lee. Yeah. Becca, what distillery tours do you want to see behind the scenes more?
I've never been to Jim Beam before, and so that actually was one of mine that I would like to just go to and see, just because I know it's so massive.
Yeah.
Heaven Hill too. That's one that I think would be a great one for a cool behind the scenes tour. And I do agree with you about like if you can go on a distiller tour, like that's actually the coolest.
That's a cool thing.
And I get it because like especially for this like the smaller guys where it's we only have so many people. It's like Royce is just working all the time,
right?
That Steve. And so for him to do something like that, that's hopefully someday he can do that. Hopefully maybe sooner than later. I don't know if he could or not, but I think that more distillers at least cutting out, like you said, like one day a month or maybe once every quarter.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, once a quarter. It does, and it doesn't have to be scripted in any way. Nobody wants that. They don't want a scripted tour. Just give me Royce Neely and just have him walk around and talk about, hey, this is project
people love that
and stuff like that, or hey, this is the still, and here's why we got it, and this is their thought process behind things is what people want, and then. I'm telling you, you could put a premium on it, and then people are incented to come back every time too. It's like, man, when I was with Royce this time, he was talking about the time that he got that absinthe still, but the next time he might not even mention the absinthe still, or you know, it's just weird stuff like that.
I'm with you on that. We had Royce's father, Roy, did all the tours. I don't remember what day it was. I don't know if it was like I think it was a Thursday maybe. A couple weeks ago, and everyone just absolutely fucking loved it.
Yeah,
like Royce got like numerous messages from people that were like, got to go on a tour with Roy Neely. It was absolutely fantastic. And he told Royce before, because he said, I will do the tours for you that day, but so I'm doing my tour. I'm not doing your tour.
Right.
Royce was like, okay, Dad. Yeah,
again,
you
that would be a great another tour for Neely, where Roy's doing it, because what Roy doesn't bring is he doesn't bring the production side. That's not in his wheelhouse at all. But the family history and all that. I mean, Roy Neely tour is you want to go on that. I mean,
I'd be down.
Tour. Yeah. I guess literally we had, Brian Hunter, he's one of our, he owns one of the tour companies around here, and he got to go on it. And he was like, that was such a fantastic tour. He's like, this is probably one of my favorite tours that I've got to bring people on was with Roy. So, those special ones where it's just someone that's not generally doing your tours is great, Right. So the special ones, that's definitely, that's something you want to see more of instead of just, I commend all just the tour guides who that's just what they do on a regular basis. That is a fantastic skill to just do that all the time. But to have the people who are working on it or they help build it, that's going to be the best.
Yeah. Now, totally different scale here and totally different. But I, went to Jack Daniels. I did, behind the scenes there. It was a media thing. But, just seeing that, and they have we got to go where they do the yeast, propagate the yeast. And they have a scientist, this woman who's a scientist that is in charge of it. And, you get to hear her talk about what she does and, how she has to clean things and stuff like that. This can be boring to the person off the street. For somebody like me, I love it. And then she's like, does anybody want to taste it? Well, hell yeah. It's a weird, you're a whiskey geek when you're excited when she's like, you can taste the yeast that they make the Jack Daniels with.
She give you a spoonful?
No, you just took a drink out of a beaker. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it was in a beaker. Yeah. I could have kept some of it. I should have poured some in a thing and then started my own Jack Daniels line.
You could have just smeared it in your beard without her knowing.
Yes, that's true. Then
gone home and propagated.
Driven straight to Dr. Pat Heist and be like, propagate this immediately.
Propagate my beard.
I have a feeling if you did that, we wouldn't get a single barrel, though. I feel like we would be upset with Jack Daniels. They'd be upset with us. So.
Yeah, this is true. So, yeah. So great time. Anything else anybody wants to throw out?
I have an honorable mention because it can't happen because of the way it works, but more behind the scenes with Demetrius, like going to his 3 barns that are spread out across Missouri that no one knows where they're at.
Right.
That he uses as rack houses and just stuff like that. Seeing the farm, like everything, past what Demetrius will ever do would be awesome.
I think he may do something like that. We'll see. Not necessarily with the farm stuff, but behind the scenes type of thing. Because he's planning on doing a lot of different. He's going to have educational classes, and we've confirmed we'll get the first one of those he does for our members of the Barrel Shop Syndicate and stuff like that. So I could see him realizing the importance of that because he's so far out. When you get to be you're 45 minutes away from St. Louis, the hub where all the population is, you do cool things to make sure that they're willing to come out there. So I could see him doing some behind the scenes stuff that you don't normally get, which is awesome. So very cool. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Darren, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the Bourbon Adventures.
All right, Luke.
You can find us at Santa Fe Boutique Wines on Instagram and Luke Otero on LinkedIn.
All right, Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the web at deerhammer.com. You can order our whiskey from sealbox.com, and you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
Oh, man, he's rolling in that Sealbach money now. So, yeah, life is good for him.
No sandwiches in sight.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't need to. He's got Sealbach money. All right, Beka, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got that company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. Me, Darren, and Jim, we're at the ABV Barrel Shop. Online, we are at abvbarrelshop.com. Sign up for our email and text distribution there so you are in the know. Beka, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some of the great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro is owned and operated by Russell Creed, who makes stills for the hobby distiller. He offers a one-stop shop for everything the at-home distiller needs. Whether it's a small, experimental stovetop still or something bigger you run outside, he has the still or parts you would have difficulty fabricating yourself if you were trying to build a DIY still project. Additionally, he has resources to assist in creating unique distilled spirits, including heirloom grains, barrels for aging, and recipes. Check out Russell's company online at moonshinestillpro.com. Finally, I have a question for you. Have you ever boxed a bear? Of course not. That'd be silly. Bears really don't follow the rules, so shots in the back of the head, punches to the nuts, and scrums after the bell would be the norm. A better idea would be to enjoy Boxing Bear Whiskey, a brand crafted by Nobleton's Distilling House in Union, Missouri, and sold exclusively at the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis. This is a popular offering that sells out quickly, but when you're in town, stop by the ABV Barrel Shop and see if they have it in stock. Better yet, sign up for their email and text distribution over at abvbarrelshop.com and you'll know exactly when it is in stock. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.